Hey guys, Grace here, and welcome back to another episode of my Wizard101 life walkthrough. As you guys can see, you guys, we're about to enter into the Rogue Theater and defeat 4 people. Yeah, I was kind of dreading this, and then I realized, Charles, just watch back your old live stream and see what you did. So that's what I did. I rewatched it back and I said, okay, I think we're good. I think we're okay. So what I'm going to do is pretty much do what I did in my stream. I think that's the concept I'm going for. Just do the exact same thing what you did. And I'm going to pop it up on the screen once we do the intro and everything like that of what I actually did, because someone in the live streaming comment section told me which character did damage, tank, and all that, and I'll pop up on the screen and all that good stuff. But so glad to be back. We got a lot of catch up to things to talk about, because I think in the last episode I kind of told you guys that I was in my driving process and everything like that, and I got some things to tell you about that as well. We got some things to talk about, because I think my next driving lesson was about parallel parking and all that good stuff. And I think I told you guys a little bit what happened on Tuesday that night when I did my driving school at night, evening time, but we got a lot to catch up on. Let's go ahead and roll the intro so we can go ahead and get started. Alright, you guys, heading in, going to the theater.
Where is the dramatical fiend? There are 4 doors. Inevitably, a trap awaits beyond each. Yes, those stories and characters you've collected are indeed how you can turn the tide. But how do you summon them? A cast list? For these theatrical snares, no doubt. Ah, I see. Read aloud the name of the character whose aid you seek, and they will appear. Be wary, though, Spellbinder. I don't know how resilient these characters will be. You may only summon each once.
That's so bad.
And no doubt, only one at a time. I shall remain here to guard this stand, lest the bard discover your strategy. Good luck, Spellbinder. May the light shine upon you.
I need all the help I can get. So, I'm gonna pop up on the screen. So this was from one of my viewers, Luna. She pretty much said, they were like, hey, when you do this, I called him, Abu. Abu does good damage. Anubis does buff your damage, which I do remember that when we did the dungeon with him. And then Toilette, she's more of a tank because, she heals. And then also they said with Ra, they do damage and stuff like that. So I'm going to do the exact same thing of what I did in my live stream. I used Ra first, then I used Anubis for the second theater moment, and then in the third I used Abu, and then the last one I used Toilette. So I'm going to do the exact same thing. It may be a problem, it may not be a problem. We might get through this in no time. So I feel like I need I'm already on my boss deck. That is nice. So I'm going to do is make sure, well, my boss deck's pretty clean. Still glitchy? Still glitchy, I see. I'm gonna put one thing of each, that way I know what I'm doing, I got my feints in here, nice. Georgia the Jungle is about that life. Now I do remember in the third act, I'll pop everything up on the screen for you guys so that way you guys know what I'm doing. So before I go in, I need a person. All right, so we're gonna be summoning Ra. Summon the dude. All right, I think in the third one it is a life. They are a life, and so I'm gonna have to make sure I put a prism in. So, first person.
Oh, good morrow. You escaped my notice there. I am but a humble writer of plays.
Oh, wonderful.
Never was there a tale of more woe than mine own. Little Coriolama lived with his parents in Avalon. He was lost. He knew not the language or history or customs of this foreign land. The other children scorned him and hurled such stinging epithets, he burned with shame. Odd-shaped deer thing. Cory no antlers. And gross. The dogs, oh, the dogs did bark at him. Sent, as it seemed, before his time into this breathing world. And, to tell it true, it enraged him. Caused such disquiet that he lashed out with the spleen of fiery dragons.
Oh, awesome. That's beautiful. Yeah, I knew I didn't do this. This is all the plots. So I gotta save Aussie, Pork, and Quartermain. I knew I didn't do that one. Alright, let's go ahead and start. I'm on the boss deck, right? Okay, go. Y'all have to check. Sometimes I gotta check. I gotta check it. Oh, I don't think I put in what I thought I was gonna put in. We don't start first. That's awesome.
The moon serves to
But let's go ahead and start this conversation. So Tuesday, I think I talked about when I was talking about in my last episode, I was talking about how close to the end of September we were doing my third lesson, which was on a Tuesday evening. I think that was on I'll pop it on the screen. I think it was September the 23rd, and it was around 5 to 7 o'clock. So as y'all know, Friday, the week before that, I had a nervous breakdown, all that good stuff. So this time around, I did my driving at, in the evening. She was like, we get you ready, have your eyes trained to drive at night. Just fine. Oh, you did that. Wonderful. So, and I was like, all right, cool. So we did that, and someone was in the car. So when I got out and everything, I left the house and then I locked the door and turned the alarm on. And she's like, hey, Charles. I'm like, hey, Miss Naya. And she was like, I don't think they're going to complete the day. I'll complete the day for you. I'll do it. All right, nice. Oh, I got some stuff like that. Okay, cool. I'm going to do like at least 2 feints, and then I've had enough with this dude. I've had enough. So when I got close to the car, she's like, okay, we have an observer in the car. So pretty much like I didn't know what she meant by that. I was like, observer. And she's like, he's going to be observing you. I have a student in the car. He's going to be observing you. Are you okay with that? And I was like, yeah. Out of nowhere, I was okay with it. I was okay. I was fine. So I should have put in some Pierce, but I didn't think to put in Pierce. But that's okay because Raw's gonna take that off for me because he's gonna be hitting him. So I appreciate that, Raw.
My kingdom for a horse.
So I drove at night and I did. You would have thought I was a completely different person, like a 180. And she was like, well, I don't know what happened, but this is great. And I said, thanks, and so she was like, what happened? What happened? So, and she taught me how to back in twice. So I backed into this particular driveway. It wasn't our driveway. It was someone else's driveway. We were driving in the neighborhood. And then I backed into my driveway when we came back home. So, but it was a good drive. I had an awesome time. And then she was like, you know what? Let's go ahead and kind of set up your next appointment. She said, if you can, of doing the parallel parking. I said, all right, cool. So, but this time I would have to pretty much drive to the driving school to do the parallel parking and practice it. I said, all right. So that's what I did. And I went ahead. That was like the following week or something like that. I don't know. Something happened to where I did not schedule an appointment. It was just a lot going on. So I had to schedule getting closer to the first week of October or going into the second week of October. And I did my parallel parking. I think it was on a Monday or a Tuesday of that very first week of October. And she was like, this is parallel parking here, da-da-da-da. I said, all right, cool. So, and I was like, hey, I just realized my shadow gauges have not shown up yet. It's kind of sad. So I'm just going to keep blading until I get it. So, parallel parking day. I think it was a Monday. Because I think it was just for 1 hour. From 11 to noon. Literally an hour. Usually, this particular driving school that I was with, which is Nova Driving School, they have a location here in Texas, which I actually do love that. So, and their prices were like, for 30 minutes it's $50. For an hour it's going to be like another $50. So pretty much like $100. So, we drove a little bit around the neighborhood before we headed to the facility, which I was fine with. I said, all right, cool. And we get to the driving school parking lot, and we start practicing the parallel parking like instantly. And out of nowhere, I did not pick up on this, you guys, but my instructor told me, she was like, yeah, you know, and we just found someone to do the driving school, you know, I'm sorry, like the driving test. And I was like, I didn't pick up on it, thinking like, oh my gosh, you know, someone is finally here so I can do the driving test. Because before, here's the thing, before, I could not do the driving test at this location for Nova Driving School. I couldn't do it because they didn't have, I thought when I first started talking to them, they were telling me they were still getting approved and everything like that, so they don't have that yet, but they'll let me know. I'm thinking they still have some more paperwork to do or whatever, but that was not the case. They just needed I can't even talk. They just needed an instructor to do the driving test. They just needed someone to do that part. That's it, and they were good to go. So I was like, okay. So we were doing the parallel parking and everything like that, and then she was saying, now this is what she's going to test you on. And she said, we're going to go like we're about to do parallel parking, but instead of doing parallel parking, I just want you to put the car in reverse and just back up until I tell you to stop. I said, okay. So that's what I did. And then we came back to do the parallel parking. We kept practicing and practicing and practicing. I am such a visual person to where I'm like, oh, thank God. Because I was getting concerned. I was like, can I hit, please? Yeah, let's go ahead and hit. Not having it. Georgia Jungle, let's go. So we did the parallel parking and everything, and I got better and better. And like I said, I'm a visual person, so I had to look in the camera. I was like, okay, so when the blue line hits the curve, that's when I turn my wheel and do the, do this and do that. And she's like, yeah, pretty much. So I'm so visual, you guys. I'm so visual. And so we practiced that for a good hour, and she was like, Charles, I believe you're ready, and she will be here by this coming Friday. She will be here, so let's go ahead and take the test. I believe you're ready. What? So I said, okay. And she's like, but think about it. She will be here Friday on October the 10th. I said, wow.
Night
to be
must
continued.
match day, which must match night.
To be continued with our conversation until we finish talking to Bard.
Fruitless attempts at retaliation plagued him.
Nice.
Cruel defeat mocked his ambition. For Coriolama was a bookish boy, unsuited to the rigors of combat. And since he could not prove the warrior to defend against such scornful ways, he determined instead to prove a bard. To entertain in his own well-spoken ways. The myth was the thing, and with its arcana he'd take arms against a sea of troubles. Trolls did he call, and medusas, and bugs, monsters of his mind which left ashes at his feet. Not one soul dared call me Cory No Antlers again.
Okay, he seems a little selfish. I'm over here breakdancing. Okay. He seems a little like someone hurt his feelings or something like that. That's just how I'm taking it. Someone hurt his feelings. And that's why he's taking it out on us and pretending to be. No, did I? Okay. I couldn't get out. I'm having internet trouble. What? Who's messing up my internet? I have fiber internet. You have got to be kidding me. are you serious? Do I need to do a BRB? Wow, BRB, guys. Alright, y'all, so we're back. I had to literally exit out the game. Thankfully, they just said go to stage 2, and I'm thinking, thank God, because I was like not having it at all. So this is the, oh my gosh, it's ridiculous. That was ridiculous. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Alright, let's see what he says.
The king returns. Once dragon, once lost, he is back and brings dire cost.
Once this land was open, its bounty was free. We'd help ourselves to whatever we did see.
But the king, now that he's back, our efforts were thwarted by nightly attack.
And who was it that plucked the king from his cave and restored him to lordship over you knaves?
The wizard, the scion, earthborn from beyond.
Now we are here, so they can be gone.
I feel like there's some hostility going on, but he won't admit it. But, you know, that's just me. He will not admit his mistakes. But anyway, so continuing on with the driving. So I said, all right, cool. And so she told me this is Monday during my parallel parking. I get home and I did not call anybody. Usually I talk to my dad, my mom, and all that stuff. Wow, I'm not starting first again. That's
Offer
awesome.
your soul unto death.
Oh yeah, do it, Anubis, do it. Okay. Anyway, so I usually call and talk to my parents, like, hey, or they call me, say like, hey, how did the driving go? And I'm like, I didn't say anything. I needed to just talk to the Lord, just pray about it. Like, she said I can take this test Friday, like this week. Like, is she serious? And I'm still trying to process this. I'm just like, wow. So I didn't say anything till the next day to anybody. I think I told my sister Rachel, was she at home from work? I'm not sure. But the next day, which was Tuesday, talked to my dad and everything, and my mom, and they were like, well, what do you think? Usually my dad is like on board, so I called my mom first. I was like, I told my dad, I told my mom, I said, I wanted to call you first before dad, because I know with dad, he's gonna be like, let's do it. I'm like, calm down, dad. You know, I was like, calm down, dad, calm down. So, I'm not trying to do anything yet, which I really wasn't. I was like, am I really ready for this? For her to tell me, I know my parents and my sisters and my family can tell me, like, Charles, you got this, you can do this. But for someone that doesn't know me to tell me that, she was like, I know you're ready, and I know you're going to pass. So prayed about it and everything, talked to my mom, and my mom was like, well, what do you think? And I said, honestly, Mom, I want to do it. I want to go for it. Why not? You know? Then I called my dad, told him about it. He said, and I was expecting him to say, well, let's go for it. How much is it going to cost? Da-da-da-da. He was like, well, what do you think, Charles? And I said, I believe I want to do it, Dad. He said, really? I said, yes, sir. He said, okay. He said, we're right behind you, and whatever you decide, you know, go for it. And I was going to let my parents pay for it, because this whole thing, my parents pretty much paid for my entire driving school lessons. And
Clench tight your fist.
This time I did not have my parents pay for it. Like, they did not pay for it. And so I was like, I didn't want them to pay for it. So I was like, okay. So Wednesday came, and it was even though I said, you know, I'm ready for this, I can still feel like that negativity from, you know, my stupid mind. Half of my mind was like, let's go for it. Why not? The other part was like, are you sure about this? And I'm thinking like, no, I'm not having this. I said, look, I've worked hard for this. I've worked my butt off with the driving lesson online, doing it in person, everything. So I went ahead and called Wednesday morning. I think it was like around like 11 or 11:30 or something. Called them and I said I want to set up my driving test for this Friday. And she's like, awesome, Charles, I'm really so excited. And she told me how much it was. It was just $100 since I am a student and everything like that. I'm not sure how much it would be if I wasn't a student. I don't know. But with that, I went ahead and paid for it, and my appointment was set for 6 o'clock. And that whole day, I was like, I can't believe I just did that. And I really wanted to prove to myself that I can do this. And I really wanted to conquer this fear. And this was a big fear. I don't know why, but driving can be so intimidating sometimes. And I was like, I wanted to prove to myself that I can do this, period. So I'll put on a faint frenzy and then do another faint possibly and then hit. That's what I'm going to do because I'm not having it. So after I talked to Miss Day from Nova Driving School and everything like that, got everything set up and everything, and she was like, oh, make sure, she said, when you come in, make sure you have, Texas has it now to where I have to do this impact test, this impact. Now let me tell y'all this right now, don't be fooled. You're not just watching videos. You're not just watching videos. You're taking like a 5-question pop quiz, which is like, dude, you gotta be kidding me. And you better pay attention. So I took notes. I was like, I'm not missing anything. I'm not doing this. So, but it's a certificate to show them that you watched the videos and everything like that. I watched it on Friday. I did everything on Friday. Even though it said it's going to take you just an hour since you are 25 and up. No, it took me the whole 2 hours. I'm not messing around. I'm not messing around. I want to get this correct. It was very informative, everything. So my dad came back that Thursday, that Thursday, which was the 9th, and he had me drive. When I mean, for some reason, I told my sister, once I told her and everything like that, I said, I said, this is just me, just to give me a peace of mind. I want to practice parallel parking or do some type of driving before the day of the driving test. My sister was like, Charles, I don't think you need to do that, but if you need to, we can definitely do that. We didn't get a chance to do that, but when my dad came back that Thursday, he was like, I need to go some places. And I said, okay. And at first, he was driving, and then we're in the neighborhood. We haven't even left the neighborhood yet, and he was like, no, Charles, put the flashes on. He said, Charles, you're driving. I said, okay. Okay. I'm like, all right. And so I was not expecting my dad to do that. Honestly, I was not expecting my dad to do that because, but he was like, no, you're driving. And I drove my dad to the tailor's because he got a new suit. He wanted to get it tailored. Then I took him to this particular tailor didn't do like embroid or something like that. He wanted his name inside of his cufflinks. And she was like, oh, I don't do that. So this place does. We drove all the way over there and they said they didn't do it. Then we came back and my dad was like, let's get some gas and I want to wash my truck. I've never been through the car wash thingy, so that was my first time. This particular car wash type of thing, you can actually you have to put your car in park, not the one in neutral. So that's what we did. We did that. I said, all right, cool. So then after that he was like, I need to go to Lowe's because my dad wanted to fix the fence gate. Our gate of our fence is broken and he's like, I really want to fix that, so let's go ahead and just grab all the stuff. I said, okay. I drove all the way to Lowe's and I was actually happy that my dad did that for me because he was like, look, it's not that I'm nervous. I was nervous, but I wanted to take that spirit off of me to where like, Charles, you got this in the bag. And it was just going to give me a piece of time. Like, I said a piece of time. A peace of mind. It was going to give me a peace of mind. So, this is going to do a lot of damage. Oh, it didn't do that much. Okay. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. So, yeah, Thursday, I was pretty much my dad's chauffeur. Literally my dad's chauffeur. And so, okay, let's do that. We're not playing around. So I did that and everything. And then we got home and I was exhausted. And I said, thanks, Dad, for letting me drive. I said, for some reason, I felt like I needed to practice one more time driving and everywhere. And just to make sure. And he's like, Charles, you got this. So usually when stuff like this happens, I remember when I went to a new school when I was a junior in high school. This was my first time being in a public school, brand new school and everything. I know nobody. My parents, this is just what our tradition is. My parents come with me and walk me to my class, walk me to my locker and everything. They always end out on the first day of school. If it was like a brand new school. Now, if it was just like, oh, she's been here for a while, that's fine. But like a brand new school and I've never done anything, so it's like they would be there for me. So, that was fun and awesome. Oh, okay. To be continued until he talks to me. I have a feeling it's gonna take a while because Anubis has a lot of stuff on him. 1, 2, 3. This is the last one. 4. Nice. All right, BRB with our conversation.
I shall feast on your final breath.
I can't
Of course you win. You always do.
Thank you.
But what of the poor bandits crushed neath your fell shoe?
Okay. I don't know if he's salty that he's not us or he's just being rude, just being rude. All right, get that. Nice. I think the next one we have to put on a prism. So, Boo. I still can't imagine like his walk gets me every time. All right, so I need to make sure I have a prism. I'll put on 2 just in case one of them does not show up. Sometimes that happens, y'all. Let's see. Yeah, we're good. Yep. Let's roll. Let's roll a boo.
Dogs, weasels, corvidae, lend us your ears. We come to bury the wizard, not to praise them. They have brought many boons to Avalon. But Nana says they're ambitious. And Nana
got
is
2
an honorable ham
life wizards.
The wizard is ambitious. Ambitious, I tell you.
Exactly. Thus we beseech you all to join us. With your arms and gold and knowledge. Let us find the weapon that wizards cannot survive.
Help us find the fabled Moon King.
Oh, gosh.
Entreat his aid and his
Not
followers.
the Shadow Weaver,
Let us
dude.
stand together. We few, we angry few, we band of bothered.
So rouse yourselves in the name of Nana.
And so, to Crocotopia we came. To Khonshu. To vengeance.
Nice. Okay, so I got that prisms on. I'm probably gonna use the prism just on the bard and not on the minion dude, whatever, Grand Nana, whatever. Nana, no. Everybody else, yes. Ooh, do your thing, buddy. Do your thing. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start
Let me
blading
tell
up.
you a tale of one city.
Yeah, do that. So Friday came and it was the day of the test. Y'all, tell me why I was fine the whole day until 3 o'clock hit, 4 o'clock hit, then 5 o'clock hit. I was like a nervous wreck. I was like, my heart was racing so fast, beating out of my chest. I was just like, I was praying. I was like, oh Lord, I don't know why I'm so nervous. I said, but Lord, I know you got me. I said, God, whatever happens, I'm grateful that I'm conquering this fear. When I was in high school, I was never really good at testing. Even when I studied, you know what I mean? I just not good at testing at all. I will always second guess myself sometimes. I don't mean to, but it just happens, you know. So I will always second guess myself on certain things, and so I was nervous, and I was like, Lord, let all the things that I have learned from my instructor come back into remembrance. Help me to stay focused. Give me traveling grace and arriving mercy to where I'm going. You know, just I'm okay. And so I remember this, and in my live stream, I did not give him the answer. I just kind of like just went on with my life. No offense. Just kind of like went on. Oh, that's lovely. I want to get rid of those because that sucks. But yeah, so Friday came, so we had to leave. My dad, at first, I didn't think my dad was going to come with me and my sister Rachel. I didn't think he was going to come with us, but he did. And we drove his truck. And so we get there, and I thought it was just like one big building of like the driving school. There would be a receptionist at the front desk saying, hi, welcome to Nova Driving School, how are you? No, this is like commercial buildings inside of a building, so it's like they're like the small little places and stuff. So I said, oh my gosh. So when we get there was someone already taking the driving test, apparently, I think, and I didn't realize it until they came in with the driving instructor. And the driving instructor, I was like, oh, that's Miss Yolanda. I said, okay. I was thinking to myself, she seems nice, which she was. She was definitely really nice. So my sister came with me, and I met, I saw my instructor again. I said, hey, Miss Nye. She's like, hey. And she's like, you ready? I was like, yes, ma'am. And she was like, you got this. You know that, right? I said, yes, ma'am. So she was just like super sweet and making sure, I have this. Then I got a chance to meet the testing instructor, Miss Yolanda, and so she took me to the back, and we got all the paperwork situated and everything like that. And she's like, all right, you ready? I said, yes, ma'am, let's go. She's like, all right, let's do it. And it was literally like less than 20 minutes, like 10 to 15 minutes for the road test. I thought it was gonna be longer than that, but it wasn't. And everything that my teacher taught me, that's exactly what she did, especially during the parallel parking. Yeah. And let's just say God had a sense of humor, because I was nervous. When I got to the car, she was like, go ahead and start adjusting yourself and to see how you want it to be, and turn on the car so that way we can go ahead and get started. I said, okay. Checking the lights, blinkers, brakes, and all that stuff. When I got in the car, the seat, the kid before me, however he adjusted the seat, did it just right for me, because I'm 4'11". I'm not getting taller. So I was like, she's like, is everything okay, Miss Charles? I said, yes. I was like, the seat is just right. The seat is just right for me. And so we went ahead and turned on the car. I pulled down the window so I could hear what she was saying to me. And got everything situated. Everything is done. And so we got all that, ready to go. And we got into the car. The first thing we started was parallel parking and the reverse backing out, like just backing up. And after that, I did not realize I did, but apparently I forgot to put on my signal when I was getting out of my parallel parking. I was supposed to turn my signal on and look and then go. I thought I did that, but I guess not. She told me I didn't do that. I said, okay. So then we got into the neighborhood. I knew this neighborhood because my instructor drove me into this neighborhood multiple times during our driving lessons, so I knew this neighborhood. And she's like, okay, turn here. She was telling me where to turn and everything like that. I was trying to make sure I was paying attention to what she was saying and everything. So we get back to the school. She said, okay, I just want you to park just anywhere. I said, okay. I parked and everything. I fixed myself, everything like that. And then I put the car in parked and I waited. She was writing. And so this is what got me. She told me congratulations, right? And then out of nowhere she tells me what I did wrong. But it wasn't bad. It was just like just a little bit tweaks here and there, and you're good to go. The next thing I know, and she was like, I'm just gonna put this in the envelope so that way you can take it to the DPS and you can go ahead and get your license. And I said, and she said, and she said, do you have any questions for me? I was like, so you tell me I passed? And she was like, yes, Starts. What you think this was? I was like, hey, you said congratulations, and then you started telling me what I was doing wrong, like what I messed up on. It wasn't bad. It was just like just a little bit tweaks here and there, and then I'm good to go, pretty much. And so, and she's like, I'm so sorry. I said, no, it's okay. It's just like it just kind of just threw me off. I was like, wait, what? I passed. You know, like what? I passed. I cannot find my prism anywhere, and I need my prism. So this might be the long one. So I can't find my prism for some reason. It's not coming up. I'm not making this up. It's not coming up. So, and she said, no, you passed. I was like, oh my gosh. And I almost started crying. I didn't cry. I was just like, hold back the tears. I was just like, thank you, Jesus. I did it. I conquered my fear and I did it. And so I got my purse and everything like that. We were walking and we were talking. And I said, ooh, can we put like a little jokey joke on my dad and my sister, make it look like I didn't pass? And she's like, well, I don't know how that's gonna be because they're looking at us and we're smiling and everything. I was like, I'm pretty sure they're gonna be thinking Charles just making a joke. And I was like, open the door. I said, hey y'all, and they were like, hey. And she was like, she needs a little bit more work, you know. So we go, and then we turned around the corner where they didn't see us anymore. I was like, that was great, Miss Yolanda. And she's like, awesome. So we opened the door and everything, and my instructor, Miss Nye, looked at me and she's like, so? And I was like, she's like, yes. And I was like, yeah, I passed. So, but yeah, she was such a good teacher, and we got everything situated. We took pictures and stuff like that. I got everything put in the envelope for me to take it to the DPS. Now, the DPS that I went to, now mind you, when I got my permit, I did not go to my regular location DPS. I had to go to another DPS, which was a bigger facility, but I was able to go see somebody really quickly, and I don't have to make an appointment like other people have to do at other locations. This was a bigger location. So I got my stuff and everything like that. We came back out, and Miss Nye was like, oh, wait. And so I told Miss Nye what me and Miss Yolanda did and kind of prank my dad and my sister by, like, I didn't pass. So when I came back out, she was like, oh, I gotta see this. And I was like, hey, y'all. And then they were like, well, what happened? I was like, oh, I passed. And she was like, how much did you say? You've got to be kidding me. Don't do that, Charles. I'm like, I'm sorry. And so, but, yeah, I want to do a little joke on it. Just a little joke, you know. But I did pass my driving test, and my dad was just like, so I called my mom, and my mom was like, I knew it. And here's the thing, at first I really thought I was going to take my driving test somewhere else, only because the Nova Driving School that I was, you know, doing my lessons, everything, they didn't have an instructor. But my mom was like, oh, I really hope and pray that we can get the driving test done there without you trying to go somewhere else to take the driving test, you know. And lo and behold, it's happening, you know. So all I need is my prism, but my prism's not coming up, but I need my prism to come up so I can hit. So yeah, so everything worked out. God knew when I needed my license. I told my mom, I said honestly, I told the Lord, I was like, Lord, I would like to have my license before my dad's installation service. And look what happened. I got my license. I passed the test on the 10th, and I got all my paperwork done on Monday. So Monday, which was the 13th, which was Columbus Day.
Beware the Ides of Bard.
I didn't know that we stopped celebrating it. I'm thinking like, well, he is the founder of America, so why not we're celebrating him? Okay, anyway. So we go back to the DPS. My dad said, Charles, go back to the same place you got all this stuff done. And I had a piece of paper, pretty much waived the fee, and because I paid the $11 and everything. All I had to do was just make sure I brought in my test score from the road test and then the impact. Everything else has pretty much been in the system. I said, all right, cool. That's what we did. We put everything else in the system. So I said, all right, cool. And there you are. Prism hitting next, not having it. So we get to the DPS and everything. I showed this guy the paper because there was 2 people up there that worked there. They're like, "Hi, how can we help you?" I said, I have this piece of paper because I paid the $11 fee to get my license, and this is like the way for you. And she's like, "Yes." She's like, "All right." And she said, "What you gonna do?" And he was like, "What you gonna do? You're gonna go right down there, and you're gonna turn left. Then you're gonna turn right again. Then you're gonna turn left." And the lady said, "Ma'am, do you see that woman that's sitting right there?" I said, "Yes." And she's like, "When you find her, turn left." I said, "Okay." Lady knew where I was going, and she said to me, "Are you looking for Are you looking for the red carpet, to get your license?" I said, "Yes, ma'am." And she's like, "Okay." And she's like, "All you gotta do is just turn right and then turn left." And she said, "Or you can keep going straight, then turn right, and then just stand right there. Somebody will help you." I said, "Okay." Y'all, I was out of the DPS in less than 10 minutes. I am not joking. All I had to do was just give him my paper, like that envelope, sealed envelope, and I was good to go. Because the first time when I came to the DPS, I paid that extra fee of $11, so that way I wouldn't have to go through the process again of trying to get my license. I already took the photo for my license, and everything was pretty much set. And at first I was like, I thought when I got in the mail was my driver's license, but that was actually my permit, and it was restricted. So restriction A, I have to wear glasses, of course. Restriction B is pretty much telling me like, hey, she cannot drive by herself. She has to have someone in the car with her. So now that I don't have that on there, I got my license. So my licenses should be in the mail sometime this week or maybe the first week of November. But yeah, the process of that is over. I got my license, y'all. My license. I got a temporary license paper right now, but I got my license. So that was a journey in itself. I'm proud of myself that I conquered that fear. I think this whole week, I think last week I did not drive at all because I didn't just drive it all this week, all last week. But yeah. But I am so proud of myself that I conquered that fear. Even though I've never ridden a bike before, it kind of reminds me of riding a bike. He's not dead. You have got to be kidding me. Wow. He only has 600 something else. You're gone. You have got to be kidding me. You have got to be kidding me. I hate him with a passion. And I don't think I have any... That's just perfect. I don't know if this is going to take him out. I don't think this is going to take him out at all because he is life and I'm life. I don't know if it's going to take him out. And plus, I think I got rid of my reshuffle deck, so that's awesome. Did it take him out? No, it did not take him out.
The Ides of Bard.
Yeah, that did not take him out. You know what? I'm putting on a feint and I'm gonna let Abu take him out. Take him out, Abu. Take him out, Abu. So yeah, so my license is here. So next stop is to have a car. I don't know. We're in the process. Well, right now, here's the thing. My middle sister Daria is pregnant. It's her first child. Her and my brother-in-law are pregnant with their first child. Found out that it's a girl.
Beware the Ides of Bard! Beware the Ides of Bard!
Would you shut up and let us take you out? So we can go on to the next round. Okay, anyway, so yeah. So, but the next stop is to have a car. My dad said I can have his truck, his pickup truck. I don't know. We haven't even discussed anything else about it yet. But that is the next step. But we haven't talked more about it, so. Whew, I'm so glad. Thank you, Abu. Thank you.
Hi! This match is not the ending foretold to Khonsu.
Oh gosh, that was like a doozy in itself. Man, that was a lot. I literally was dreading it because I was like, where are my prisms? Like, my prisms weren't coming at all. They were just lazy prisms. Like, come on. Like, where are you going? All right, last person is Tourette, and her toes are done. Love it.
Who am I? I am but a humble bard brought to amuse the troops who so eagerly serve you, my Lord Khonsu. What value could I have? These, my players, my summons, my creatures, are but spirits, melted into air, into thin air. 'Tis true. There is wisdom in thy speech. Myth and moon are as one, shifting and shaping the world as a writer shapes words. Permit me to serve as your avatar. I will be your author of vengeance.
All right, so he is death, which is lovely. We don't really don't care, so we're good. Can we at least start first? That'd be kind of nice, ending this episode if we start first. No, they don't want us to be great at all. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and blade up.
I have the shield of vengeance.
Yay, we love you. Can you make sure that we stay alive? Okay, Tourette. So yeah, so that is the next thing, is possibly getting a car. Honestly, I would like a small subcompact SUV. That is what I would like, because I am 4'11" and I'm not growing anytime soon. But my parents were like, you know what? My dad was like, hey, you can take my car and then I can just get a new truck. Not saying I don't want my dad's truck. I'm not saying that at all. But the thing is, it's like, I kept thinking, and I'm just trying to stay proactive and just be vigilant and just stay alert. Wouldn't it just be easier just to get me a first-time car sedan? Even though I want an SUV, because I would like to be high up. But if I can get a really good, reliable sedan, I said SUV. Yeah, a sedan or a hatchback or something like that, that I can just get to point A to point B. You know, wouldn't that be better? But the fact, this thing. I live in I think it's now the third or the fourth largest city in the United States of America. We're prone to accidents. So I'm just like, oh, lovely. We're prone for accidents. That's just awesome. Prone for accidents. And so the car insurance is high. I think it's ridiculous. Wow, you put that on me? That is just so nice of you. And I didn't put any shatter cleansers into that. That's alright. That's alright. If I can find Frenzy, another blade, and make sure I have my feints on him. He should definitely be taken care of and gone in seconds. I'm overachieving and trying to believe that, but you know, I'm just saying. Yeah. Yeah. What do I have here? I have 40. So 45. And
You lie troubled at my mighty feet.
Oh, do it. Just go ahead, girl. So, but yeah, I'm definitely excited for this new chapter. It's like, it's bittersweet, came to an end of the driving series for me. But yeah. And then on top of that, during my time of driving, I am so sorry. I have been like kind of like MIA of like recording and uploading videos and stuff like that for Wiz. I was just so focused on that and trying to get that done to where I'm just like, just gonna pause on Wiz real quick. You know, that was just me. So I apologize. Charge it to my head and not my heart. And I'm telling y'all, it had nothing to do with y'all. I just wanted to make sure, you know, everything was going with the flow, and I just wanted to get that done. So that's one thing off my plate. I'm still looking for a job, remotely and stuff. I'm still in the process of looking. I just haven't found anything that, you know, that would be like, hey, you know, I would want that job, you know what I mean? So,
Your riddles now are ended.
But that's something that I'm still looking at, still trying to do. Oh,
This
wonderful.
king of darkness I acknowledge, mine.
Where's Frenzy? Can't seem to find my Frenzy for some reason. So, but yeah, I still can't believe that it's over. Like, the driving process is over. It was funny because Sunday came once I passed my driving test, and I drove to church, and I was just like, I still can't believe I got I passed my test. And then my sister's like, you know what, let's just go early Monday morning so that way we gotta worry about it. And we got there in and out in no time. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was, there's my
You
Frenzy.
lie troubled at my mighty feet.
So, and I was just like, I can't believe this is actually happening, you know? It was just a lot, and I was just like, I'm just so elated and just so happy that we're finally, you know, we finally can close this chapter. And, you know, something that I've been wanting to do for a while. And honestly, it's been like a long time coming. I would say 5 years in the making for me, but I wasn't really serious about it until 2 years ago. And then last year, you know, my sister and I got into a car accident. That was not our fault. So that kind of took me over the edge a little bit to where I wouldn't say I was like afraid of driving, but it was just like, do I really want to drive? Because this is how people are gonna drive. I don't want to be around this, you know. But I can't stop people from being, I hate to say, idiots when they drive. It's like you make bad decisions. I can't stop people from driving recklessly. All I can do is just be a better driver than they are. Nice. Let's see what happens. We take him out. 16. Let's go. 16K. Awesome sauce. And I didn't lose any health. Boom.
Vengeance never dies. It can only be sated.
Yay. I love that. I think I still have to do the thing with Aussie, pork, and Quartermain. I did not know I had to do that, but I guess I do. So let's talk to Whiteheart.
Look who I have captured, Spellbinder. It seems his talents ran dry.
Hark! I am slain. Upon this stained soil am I left to greet grim death. Will my dissolution yield peace everlasting, or eternal pain? Will I...
Enough. Where is the bear we seek?
Perchance you look within. Perchance he was there all along.
I hate it when he does that.
Where is Ivan? Ah, Wizard! Privyet! What do you mean, am I real Ivan?
It is indeed a genuine bear, Spellbinder.
Yay.
We have succeeded. Come, friends, let us find the mad quacker and commence with revels.
Ivan does like crackers. They are going well with Stroganoff.
Awesome sauce. We did it. That was literally like the whole quest. That's crazy.
You won? Unexpected. And good. Very good. You continue to surprise, Earthborn. You were inventive, Wizard, that's for sure.
It seems our crazed ally has flown away.
Ivan, too, wishes he could fly.
We have some insect craft on my world that you should see, friend. But for now, the Spellbinder is right. Let us find their ally in the city.
Alright, so I'll see y'all when we get to Mallory, alright?
Hey, you found Ivan and the Mouse Guy.
Divim Whiteheart, Regent of Bastion. At your service, milady.
Charmed, I'm sure.
Ivan the Great, champion of being great, also at your service.
I pity the Kansu who messes with all of us, especially when all 7 of your friends are assembled.
Alright, yay, we did it. So the next is go to the Tomb of the Forgotten. I thought I did this quest, but I guess I did not. So this is the next thing we need to do, is the Tomb of the Forgotten. Yay, the Tomb of the Forgotten. Let's do it. Yeah. That's gonna be the next episode to do. And I'm super excited about it, but yeah. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Today we finished up picking up Ivan the Great and Divman, Whiteheart, and everything like that with from Bard. The next one is to grab Ozzy. Who else? Ozzy, Porky the Pig, and Quartermain. So that'll be the next episode for that quest. I have to read back on that and see how I did that. And I think after that, we will almost pretty much be halfway close to being finished. I feel like now we're almost like literally like halfway done. We're like, I would give myself like 80% done with Selenopolis. And yeah, I didn't get a chance to talk about Darkmoor because I was so excited about my driver's license. So as y'all can see, Darkmoor is now out in the test realm right now. So people are working on that right now. It's not in actual Wizards yet, but it's also just right now in test realm. I know once that comes out, I'm definitely going to be doing that on my Fire Wizard. Cannot wait to start that quest. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Make sure you guys like, comment down below your thoughts. Are you in Selenopolis getting ready for Darkmoor, or are you close to getting to Selenopolis and you are watching my videos to help you go through the areas, which I am definitely glad that I'm helping you because we're in this together. Okay. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We would love to have you to be part of the Grace Squad. And yeah, I'll see you guys on the next episode when we try to save Porky the Pig, Ozzy, and Quartermain. All right, bye everyone.